What is up, everybody? Welcome to Johnny Bro Review. I'm Johnny Bro, and in today's episode, we're going to be going over 5 of my favorite winter horror movies. I'm kind of a seasonal fan, kind of a seasonal watcher to an extent. I do like to match up my views with the season and what's going on with stuff and like the vibes and the atmosphere. Big atmosphere fan here. You'll definitely find that out if you subscribe to the channel here and check out some new videos. But yeah, not all the time. I'll mix it up and just kind of depends on what I'm in the mood for at the time. Coming back with a little rebrand. I was doing some YouTubing about a year ago and just kind of changing things up a little bit and kind of restructuring my channel a little bit. So yeah, man, I felt like this would be a fun video to kind of start with. We're in the right season for it, so let's do it, man. Let's get into 5 of my favorite winter horror movies. And this list is in no particular order. This isn't like a top 5 list or anything like that. It's not necessarily, these are my top 5 favorite of all time and the last one's my favorite. It's just a randomized 5 of my random favorites. So yeah, man, let's get right into it with the first one, which is Misery. Definitely one of my favorite winter horror movies, one of my favorite horror movies, and maybe even one of my favorite movies of all time, man. Misery is such a good time. Great atmosphere, great characters, great chemistry between our actors and characters. Wonderful stuff here, man. I love the small scale setting and the small cast. Very fun, very immersive, very creepy. Love the story to it too, man. So fun, so unique, so Stephen King. Probably one of my favorite, if not my favorite adaptation as far as Stephen King stuff goes to film. Kathy Bates is G here, man, for sure. Dude, she kills it. Definitely my favorite role of hers for sure. I love her stuff in American Horror Story as well, but here is just peak Kathy Bates. Good stuff. James Caan also perfectly cast in this. Like I said, great chemistry with the two. Fun stuff, man. The banter back and forth is hilarious. I love some of that. There's also a lot of funny one-liner stuff with this sheriff character. He's a great, like, wholesome, fun character for the film. Good stuff. Fits right in. Definitely a cold feeling, cabin in the woods, cabin in the forest, cabin in the snow vibe. Love it, man. Definitely brings the spooky but Christmassy, wintry atmosphere. Very strong, man. Misery is a top one for me for sure. And it's also kind of fun since I've been like rebranding my channel from what I was doing before, and took a big break, and I'm back now with some rebranding and kind of switching things around and kind of reformatting the structure of what I want to do with YouTube and videos and stuff and reviewing. But yeah, it's kind of cool because Misery was like, I think it was the first review I put up originally for like a podcast episode that I was doing back then when I first started a long time ago. So yeah, man, kind of full circle, kind of fun. Next one up is John Carpenter's The Thing. Classic, man. Love the snowy atmosphere, love the vibes, love the ominous, creepy score that just fits this film so well. Bunch of great characters here. Kurt Russell's wonderful in this. He leads it very well. Wilford Brimley is really cool. He puts out a great, wildly unhinged performance in this. Again, wonderful chemistry between the characters, and I love this, like, the untrustworthy vibes of the story and the plot and how it all works in. It's just masterpiece, man. It's great. So many cool things about it too. I mean, some of the best effects ever. I mean, who hasn't said it before, but what can you say that hasn't been said? Wonderful stuff, man. Super realistic looking, super creepy, super ominous. I love the just overall claustrophobic vibe that the setting and the characters all bring to the film. Wonderful for a cold day. Nice sitting in a nice warm room, sipping some cocoa and watching this one, man. Definitely goes down good with The Thing. Another one that fits the theme perfectly for me personally is The Shining. I love this film. Again, it's up there with Misery for me as like one of my favorite films of all time. Definitely one of my favorite horror films of all time. But yeah, man, the cold, creepy atmosphere, the hotel setting, the characters, the madness. Oh man, it's wonderful. I love so many things about The Shining. The score's great. I love the spooky, unconventional vibe of the score. I think it fits the ominous, weird feeling of the movie so well. Just so haunting feeling, you know? The Room 237 stuff is super creepy. The hedge maze stuff definitely brings that cold atmosphere. Works so well in the film. I also love just like all the mystery and conspiracy theories around it, man. Back when I was doing my old channel, one of the last videos I was working on before I decided to kind of like take a break and do the rebranding thing was a conspiracy theory video about The Shining. It was about all the different theories and stuff like that, which I'll definitely be breaking down in video form here on the new channel. Definitely something to look forward to if you're interested in that. So yeah, man, The Shining, definitely up there for me for winter horror vibes for sure. Gotta watch it every winter. Very similar to how I watch It every summer. Like I said, I'm very seasonal in that way. It's fun. I don't know. I just like the vibes. Like I said, it's not necessarily like married to the idea or anything. I'll mix it up and watch a winter movie in the summer and a summer movie in the winter sometimes. But just kind of rolling with it. But yeah, man, I felt like winter vibes for first video back would be fun. It's getting seasonal, getting a little festive. You know what it is. It's fun. Got me a little tree over here. It's pretty cool. But yeah, man, let's keep things rolling with the next film on the list, which is Gremlins. I love Gremlins, man. It's super fun. I have a lot of nostalgia with Gremlins. I grew up watching this one all the time, man, especially in the winter months for sure. But yeah, man, it might feel like a little bit of a cop-out, I guess, in a horror movie list, because I guess it could be debatable as whether it was like straight up horror or not, because it is very like kid-friendly, very family-friendly, and from what I remember hearing, was intended to be more violent and more of like a straight up like creature feature slasher film, but they went in a different direction with things. But that would be an interesting topic actually to kind of cover on the channel as well. So yeah, man, I'll probably get into that at some point too. Maybe before winter's over, we'll talk a little bit about the history of Gremlins a little bit. But yeah, man, I love the characters. I love Gizmo and Spike and all the cool different cheesy, like characterized versions of the Gremlins in the bar scene. I know it's over the top and super crazy and goofy, but I love that kind of stuff with the 80s stuff, man. It's super fun. But one of my favorite scenes is the kitchen scene with the gremlin in the microwave and everything, man. That scared out of me when I was a kid, dude. That scene is like straight up horror. I feel like that was like some leftover, like, let's make this into a horror film scene there. And definitely fits, man. It works for me for sure. One of my favorite scenes. But yeah, again, fun score, fun setting, cool look to it too. It definitely has that 80s blue tone. I love the blue look in the 80s films, man. Gotta love it. So cool, so fun. Love the final act here. Very cool, very epic. It works for me, man. Gremlins for sure though, man. Definitely on the holiday rotation for me. And the last one on the list is something a little bit newer. It came out a couple years ago, I believe. Christmas, Bloody Christmas. I had a lot of fun with this thing, man. It's a vibe for sure, dude. Definitely a vibe movie. It's got the neon lights everywhere. It looks like my backdrop pretty much. It's great, dude. The whole movie's just like super neon lit. I love that about it. Feels a little over the top. It feels like it's glowing sometimes, but it's cool, man. I like it. I love the dialogue at the beginning and how we get introduced to our characters. It feels like Tarantino-y a little bit. Obviously not like the level of dialogue in a Tarantino film, obviously, but it has that kind of vibe to it where it's like kind of throwaway conversation that isn't necessarily needed for the film, but it kind of works to kind of flesh the characters out a little bit. And it's kind of memorable. So it's pretty fun. I like that about it. It also feels very Terminator. That's another thing I like about this movie a lot. It has like a Terminator vibe where he's just going and going. He's going after and he's not stopping at nothing. It's fun, dude. And like she thinks it's over and then he's back and it's coming back and it's like crawling after. It's wonderful Terminator-y vibe for sure. Some fun kills, some gore, some over-the-top stuff, some pretty wild stuff. It goes there. But yeah, man, Christmas, Bloody Christmas, dude. I definitely recommend it if you missed it and you're a slasher fan. You probably like it quite a bit, I think. But yeah, man, that's going to do it for the top 5 favorite winter-themed horror films, man. Those are 5 of my favorites. So yeah, man, feel free to check them out this season. I'm definitely going to be checking them out. But yeah, just to like talk a little bit about the rebrand and coming back and like what to expect here on the channel. Definitely lots of different stuff. I felt like I had kind of painted myself into a horror corner before with the other channel being a horror movie hustle and everything being like themed towards horror. And there was like times where I wanted to talk about movies and different things that weren't horror and maybe some TV show stuff, maybe just something, even Tarantino films or like mob movies or like action stuff, just different things that I like that isn't necessarily horror. Like it's probably mostly going to be horror because that is my favorite subgenre. And I do lean towards talking about that kind of stuff the most, but there is times where I want to mix it up and talk about some other stuff. So I'll be talking about all kinds of stuff on this channel. Definitely a little unconventional for most YouTube. A lot of people would start second channels and all that. And I had kind of gone through a thing where I was thinking about starting a second channel, maybe even a third channel, because I was like wanting to do some different types of content. But it's all basically review-based content. So I figured let's just do one channel, Johnny Bro Review, and then let's just put it all here and just kind of see what happens. I know algorithmically and whatnot with the audience stuff, it might not land great, but let's play around with it. And I want to kind of theme every video as like a mini episode basically, and each episode having its own kind of theme and its own basic review of what we'll be talking about. And we're going to mix things up with movies, with TV shows, wrestling. Definitely want to talk about some wrestling stuff, jumped back into the WWE game pretty strong. So yeah, I want to get some thoughts and opinions out about that stuff too, but I don't necessarily want it to make a wrestling channel. So we're going to, experiment here with some wrestling content as well. If you're into that, cool. If you're not, sorry. Going with the horror stuff, I also am really into like cryptids and like creepy Reddit stories and all that kind of stuff. So I will be doing some of that kind of content here too. Just going over like the history and different stories and kind of giving my thoughts and opinions as well. Not so much a straight up reading stories videos, but more like reading the story, maybe kind of breaking it down a little bit and just kind of giving my review on it, maybe at the end or something like that. But yeah, I just want to kind of play with that format a little bit too. And maybe even some of the goings on here on YouTube, some YouTube drama stuff like that. So who knows, man? I don't know. I've just been kind of wanting to throw my hat in the ring of lots of different kinds of stuff and kind of play around and just kind of see what fits and see what I like doing the most. Because I don't know. I just felt, like I said, a little boxed into one topic, and I want to talk about more stuff. I want to do more things. And if it comes to making different channels for everything and kind of segmenting everything, then so be it. But for now, I want to kind of just have a hub and kind of build from here, episode to episode, with video to video, and just go with it, man. So that's it. But yeah, stay tuned for lots of new content. Got lots of new stuff planned for the channel, as you've heard. So yeah, y'all have a good one, and I'll see you next time.